Hello everyone, Ryan Hanley here from Agency Nation, and I have a special guest. We're at the winter meetings in Palm Springs, the Weston Mission Hills, and this beautiful place, beautiful location, beautiful weather. And I figured I have Jim Armitage with me, the chairman of ACT, and I wanted to have him touch on one of my hot button issues, e-signature, and I felt that this was the perfect opportunity to do that. Jim, welcome. Thanks for coming on,
thank you.
Taking a few minutes with us. And let's get right into it. What is e-signature? You know, let me ask this question. Why aren't more agents adopting e-signature?
Probably because they don't understand it. And there's just a lot of vendors out there that they're, being, it's almost like the premium financing. You have a lot of people that are out there bombarding them with information. Also, carriers are hesitant to accept all vendors. So from an ACT standpoint, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the vendors to be able to come to a standard so that once you meet that standard, then all of our companies should accept it. So if I have a particular vendor that I want to use or I've been using, it'll plug right into all of my companies. So it's kind of a consolidating of our ability to have e-signature. It's incredibly important because consumers, our customers, are really expecting that. They don't want the paper anymore. They don't want an email with a whole bunch of stuff that they have to print and then they got to scan and send it back. They want to be able to do just like our competitors in a way, the mortgage industry, credit industry. I mean, some of even our carriers require that we sign stuff via e-signature. So as a consumer, I expect that. I want that. You're crazy as an agent and broker not offering that ease of doing business, that value-added service to your customers. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I know for me, as moving away from being an agent to not selling insurance anymore and actually having to buy my own commercial insurance policy, I said to my family agency, I said, can you just send me over the documents? And I had forgotten in the 2 months that I had been away from the agency that I couldn't just sign something like I did with my bank statement, and it immediately hit me the impact of how much it reduces the customer experience to not be able to just do that e-signature and send it back.
Right. And quite frankly, it's a better proof because there's such a paper trail, so to speak, but there's a electronic trail that I think is better than somebody having, their wife open the mail and sign the guy's name and send it back. It's there. You identify yourself. You kind of authenticate yourself. Boom. When it was signed. What IP address. I mean, it's really foolproof. It's probably better than the old way of doing stuff.
Yeah, I know that for some carriers. In particular, some of the larger carriers have even said that they are now considering an e-signature document to be more secure than a wet signature because it's just, and every agent is probably rolling their eyes at this point, but we all at some point have done I know this guy well enough, I'm just going to scribble his name on here and push the document, right? I mean, we don't like to admit that. And the carriers are aware that these things happen. So is it the change in process in the agency, do you think that's holding up? Because I know that it does, even though it seems like a no-brainer, it does kind of change the workflow. So is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it has a lot to do with it. Yeah. And the thing is you've got different vendors and you've got a lot of different philosophies. Do you, start this process from the carrier site? But really, the bulk of the folks that we've interviewed and talked to have really said that it needs to start in the agent's office. Okay, because a lot of agents want to add disclosures, they want to add, value-added information in that process. So start it in the agent's office, be able to then, send it off to the carrier, and one and done. But yeah, there's. We all have, I think, a job ahead of us of educating agents and brokers. Again, we need to do this kind of accreditation with the vendors so that all the carriers will accept whoever has met these standards that we set out. And I think that's something where we're headed. And hopefully we can do that. It'll make it a lot easier because yeah, you could have an agent that would need to use 3 different e-signature vendors,
Yep.
and that's just not fair.
Yeah.
That gets back to what you were talking about, the workflow
Yeah.
within the agency. You know, it just makes it very difficult. So we need to make it seamless. We need to make it, you know, really electronic. We need to be able to store it on the agent side, be able to then communicate it and store it on the company side. And we're getting there because consumers demand it.
Yeah.
And our competition, kind of the way they are set up, are able to provide that service, and not all of us are.
Yeah. So if an agency is considering eSignature, a good place to start that search, at least to better understand some of the accreditations and some of the things, a good place to start that search would be ACT. So tell us
Yes.
where we can find that information.
We have a fabulous website. We have a lot of information on that. We'll be communicating via newsletter that'll give you access and hyperlinks to more information. Also, you know, start with your largest carrier and see what they're using, you know, and then and get started. You know, get your feet wet. You not only be able to use, you know, what they have already authenticated or have accredited, but then, you know, you can use it for other things.
Yeah. Jim, I appreciate your time. This has been
it's my
great.
pleasure.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And thank you for everyone for tuning in.